Hello everyone and welcome back to another Carecollab. It's been a while since I've done one of these, which is why I'm extra excited that Mark from Tokyo World invited me to join this Carecollab on the genus of Psychopsis. Please see all of the participating channels pop up right now, and I also have them linked in the description below. And as I said, today we're talking about Psychopsis. I have a hybrid here. This is Psychopsis Mariposa. You are probably a little horrified that I have this spike here and there's a dead flower. And you're like, Matthias, why don't you cut this off? And I'll tell you, no, you shouldn't, because if you can see, there are more buds forming. This is a sequential bloomer, which means that one flower spike can produce flowers again and again and again. And under my care, this plant basically stays in bloom like 2 to 3 weeks, and then the flower fades and the next bud will mature pretty quickly, let's say like 2 to 3 weeks again, and then I have another bloom. As you can see, this plant has 2 spikes, which I'm super happy with, because now they can kind of alternate and it stays in flower forever. According to sources on the internet, I've read that they can stay in bloom for several years. So let's see if I can maintain this plant. I got this plant only very recently, earlier this year. And usually I wouldn't jump onto a Carecollab that soon, but I feel like it's made quite a bit of progress. So it produced this additional spike. It came with this one. It produced this additional spike. And there are quite a few additional growths that this plant put out. So I feel confident that the way I care for it is successful. So I thought, you know what, why not join? I'm a big fan of this plant. These flowers are just, they look so alien, almost insectoid. And they also have a slight fragrance. So it's not something that fills the room, but if you're close to the plant and it's warm, like right coming up to noon-ish, I would say, this plant is surrounded by a very slight floral, kind of lilac-y scent, which I really enjoy. As you can see, this plant has very sturdy, thick leaves, and they're also mottled, which I really enjoy, so that even if it's not in bloom, it's a very attractive looking plant. But what I wanted to get at here is, you can see the leaves are very sturdy and firm, which is usually a sign that the plant is adapted to drought. In my hands though, I feel like my Psychopsis Mariposa really enjoys quite a bit of hydration in the beginning. I kept it pretty dry and then it shriveled up a lot. So now I'm basically treating it like my Miltoniopsis. So I water it regularly and I make sure that the media stays damp basically at all times, because in my hands really drying out is not something that this plant enjoys. And as for media, similar to my Miltoniopsis, I have it in media I always grow in organic media, right? But this plant is basically in pure sphagnum moss. And I have a top layer of fine bark. So yeah, sorry, as you can see, today was watering day. I just let it soak up the water and just for a few hours, and then I just dump the excess. So this is why it's dripping. But yeah, so it's sphagnum moss and then just a top layer of bark to keep down the excess algal growth that I can have on the sphagnum. And yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I feel like it needs kind of moderate light. Again, like a Miltoniopsis, I don't grow it under grow lights. I have it on kind of a northwestern facing window where during the summer it gets direct light. It would still be hit by the grow light, but it's pretty far away and it's definitely nowhere near as intense as my Cattleyas would get. I feel like the modeling on this leaf, so you can, let me rephrase this. So I feel like you can really see on this plant which are the old growths and which are the newer ones, because for me the new growths are really much more intensely modeled. So this is kind of the older part of the plant, and then this is all that it's worked on ever since it got under my care. And I feel like the light conditions here are much higher than it was probably used to, which would then also enable it to produce more pigment and give a nicer pattern on the leaves. And I don't know if you can see this, but also the underside of the leaves is really nicely speckled. And I'm just so happy with this plant. Very rewarding. I got this one from Schwerter Orchideen in Germany, and it arrived with the spike. I can link the haul where I got this somewhere. I think it's this side, right? We'll see. And yeah, I don't know. Really don't have that much more to say. I feel like this is a very easygoing plant. Just treat it like, as I said, Miltoniopsis, maybe like an Oncidium type. Don't cut the spikes because they rebloom. And yeah. Oh yeah, fertilizer. Again, I keep repeating this, but I just treat it like the Miltoniopsis also when it comes to fertilizing. I will give them kind of just normal orchid fertilizer according to the package instructions, maybe a little more dilute than what they would call for. And they are basically fertilized with every water. So, and I think this would come down to like 200 parts per million of balanced fertilizer. And under my care, this seems to really do the trick. And my plant, as I said, has been working on a lot of new vegetative growth. So lots of new structures had to be built, which is why I think also maybe a little more fertilizer doesn't hurt. And yeah, that's basically it. So thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for dropping by on this channel. And leave me a comment if you have any more questions for care. Like if you grow on a windowsill in a kind of dry flat like I do, I can definitely give you some advice on how to care for this plant. And obviously also check out the other participating channels. And with all of that said, thanks a lot for watching. I'll talk to you in the next video. And yeah, with all of that said, have a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Ooh, air.